You binged last night and everything inside of you wants to regain control. The urge to start restricting, the urge to clean things up is so strong right now. And here's the thing, maybe even thinking about that gives you a little bit of relief. But we know where we end up, right? We end up right back at the binge. And so maybe this cycle looks a little bit like this for you as it did for me. We binge, we start to tighten control again. We start to cut foods out, get hyper vigilant with our eating. We get that little bit of relief, a little bit of that, I'm in control. But then as we continue to restrict, the pressure builds, the food noise starts to turn up, the volume on it gets louder. And then eventually we shift into like this screw it mentality where it's like, you know what, screw it. And then we binge, the floodgate of guilt comes flowing in, and then we start to restrict again. And so I want to challenge you with a reframe that completely turned things around for me. Maybe the feeling you have of being out of control around food doesn't mean you got to tighten your grip. Maybe the feeling that you have of being out of control around food is actually a clue that something is happening beneath the surface. And this is where I get so excited about sharing the nervous system and the connection of the nervous system to our relationship with food, our relationship with our body, our relationship with exercise. And the nervous system is always, always, always scanning for signs of safety and signs of danger. And if we have attached morality to food, meaning we've started to see ourselves as good or bad based on the food that we put in our mouths, and if we have beaten ourselves up for eating certain foods, like spoken really mean towards ourselves, right? I know you've done that. I know I've done it, right? Overeating a brownie or something, right? If we have gotten hyper restrictive, just like cutting foods out, if we've refused to allow ourselves to have pleasure through food, how is the nervous system going to start to view food? Is it going to view food as a neutral thing, right? Or is it going to view food even as a positive thing? No, it's going to see food as a scary thing. And so I don't share this for you to like beat yourself up or anything. This was my story. This is why I'm here talking about this right now. This is why I'm so passionate about this work, because when we feel out of control around food, when we find ourselves continuing to get caught up in that binge restrict cycle, the answer is not to tighten our grip, even though inside I get it. The urge is so damn strong. I know it is so strong. Even though the urge is so damn strong, that's not going to give us the lasting relief and freedom that we're looking for. What actually needs to happen is creating safety in our nervous system, specifically around food and our eating experiences. So if we want to just feel more at ease around food, if we want to stop binging, if we just want to stop feeling anxious, if we just want to feel like we can eat normal, we have to help our nervous system see that food is not a threat. Right? Because until we do that, every time we're with food, around certain foods, right? The nervous system is going to go into that hyper vigilant mode. And so how do we start creating safety in our nervous system when it comes to food? Creating safety doesn't mean that you're just going to go and start eating whatever with no regard to how you feel, no regard to health and wellness, right? That's not what we're saying here. In fact, that can actually make things even more scary for your nervous system. Creating safety when it comes to food and our eating experience is something we do in a really gentle way. I want you to actually think more about creating the conditions to have a healthy relationship with food rather than trying to force yourself to do anything. Now, I am going to give you 3 tips to start to create the conditions to have that healthy relationship with food and to really help your nervous system see food as a non threatening thing. So, the first thing is you're just going to notice the urge to control your eating. So even if you don't change anything, even if you still control your eating, I want you to notice the urge to control, okay? Even if it's moments before the actual control happens. So right now, this is not so much about you changing the behavior. This is awareness without fixing. I want you to just become aware from a place of kindness and compassion when that urge arises in which you're like, I really want to start tracking, or I really want to clean things up, or I really want to start restricting. And I'm not saying tracking's bad. I'm not saying that. All I want you to do is start to notice when the urge to control your eating in any way arises. And again, this is from a place of kindness and compassion. Awareness is the first step to being able to make lasting change. Next, I just want you to notice your language around food. So, for example, maybe it's, I'm so bad for eating this, or I really shouldn't be eating this, or I got to make up for this. I got to make up for this tomorrow. Is your language supporting safety around food, or could it be creating more threat around food, making food a more scary thing? And again, you're just noticing, right? You're just kind of noticing what's happening. What are you saying? What's coming out of your mouth, or what's moving through your mind? Step 3, I want you to start to practice safety in small moments, all right? Small moments, moments that are digestible for your nervous system. This might look like choosing to challenge one of those ways of thinking. So maybe it's, I'm so bad for eating this food. And maybe you take that small moment of safety and you say, I'm not bad for eating any food. Food is just food. Or maybe that small moment of safety could be, instead of standing and eating quickly in the kitchen, maybe you just sit down with your food and you say, hey, I'm allowed to eat this food. I'm allowed to savor and enjoy this food. Maybe a small moment of safety has nothing to do with the actual eating of food or the thinking of food. Maybe the small moment of safety is doing a practice like the calm reset that I created. It's a 3-minute guided audio practice that helps your nervous system shift into a grounded parasympathetic state to support mindful eating. So maybe that's the step. So small moments of safety, things that are digestible for your nervous system to help to create the conditions to have that really healthy relationship with food. So I truly hope that these steps were helpful for you. Just remember, small practices done with intention have a really big impact. If you could see yourself in that binge restrict cycle, if you found this helpful, I want to invite you into one-on-one coaching with me. I'm opening just a few spots for the individual who resonates with this stuff. You resonate with feeling out of control around food. Nothing has worked. No diet has worked. No, just nothing's worked. Maybe you even tried mindful eating or intuitive eating and it hasn't worked for you. And you want to feel at peace with food. You want to feel normal around food. You might not really understand the nervous system's role, but it makes sense to you and you're curious about it. If that's you, I'm going to invite you to book a call with me. I'll put a link to book a call with me in the show notes. And I want to share with you what nervous system led food freedom is. And if it feels aligned, we get to work together. We get to move through this together. And so I truly hope this was helpful for you. Just remember that just because you feel out of control around food doesn't mean you need to tighten your grip. It might mean that your nervous system just needs to feel safer around food and around eating experiences. And creating safety in your nervous system is a gradual process. It's a process of changing the way that you think about food. It's a process of treating your body with kindness and compassion. It's a process of creating new experiences with food. And so if you enjoyed this, definitely come back. I'm really excited to share this work with you. And thank you so much for being here.